El Alawi. I'm still gonna introduce you, okay? So Kantar is the founder and CEO of Conscious Togetherness Inc. and the creator of Conscious Togetherness Leadership Framework. What happened to my mind? Her leadership model guides leaders in creating flow and trust with their teams while increasing well-being for everyone. She is the best-selling author of the book Unfolding Peace: 9 Leadership Principles to Create Cultures of Well-being, Belonging, and Peace. Her work has earned her the Bronze Place for the Leader of the Year 2023.
Thank you, everyone. Well, I'll start with this. I never wanted to be a leader. My best aspiration was to be a really good follower when I was young. And my mom can attest to this. So leadership wasn't even on my radar. But then, as I moved through life and started to work, I realized there are some really deeply messed up things about our world. Who's with me? Right? We go to our workplaces, we have to leave who we are at the door. We come home, we have to leave some parts of us, even at the door, even at home. And so my journey was really about figuring out, how did we get into this mess? My parents really did the best they could, and I have to give it to them. They did really well in some aspects. But I'm looking at the world, I'm like, home is a microcosm. Work is a microcosm. And so I look at the world and I'm like, well, I don't want to give this to my daughter. And so my journey started when my daughter was 2. And I kind of had this flash of what her life would look like had she gone on the same path that I had. And I think that's what awakened me, that we need to do something different. And then the universe put me on this path to say, if you want her life to be different, you have to be different. And so that was the irony of this path. And in my book, I talk about how self-leadership is in fact the key to collective transformation. And so, if we want to give our kids a different world, we are the leaders that we've been waiting for. If we want to solve the social issues that we see in our societies, we are the leaders that we have been waiting for. It starts with us. And so it starts with getting to know who we are, like everyone talked about earlier brilliantly. And it all starts with getting to know not only who we are, but our bigger purpose in life, our bigger why. What drives us into things? What drives us away from things? How do we create relationships where we can stand and hold our truth and still meet others with care? And how do we lead people in a workplace in a way that's uniting? Because let's face it, we have tons of trauma at the social level. And our leaders can either unite or divide. Our leaders decides today who gets to win and who gets to lose. And that is not a winning equation for anyone. We can actually create a world where what works for one person turns out to be what works for the collective. We just have to change some of the core beliefs and some of the ways that we've inherited. And so my book is all about bringing all of those things together, about bringing leaders to a place where not only do they know this, because so many of us get this right now. It's one thing to know it, it's another thing to live it, to embody it, to take it into day-to-day decisions. And so while we're working on these grand ideas, it's also about really how do I do this in the day-to-day? And that's where my work comes in. That's where I help leaders really walk through, how do I lead myself? How do I learn to listen to others at a very basic level? How do I learn to hear others? Because it's one thing to listen, but we have to build up the muscle to actually hear others and be able to say, well, you know what? This is what I need. What is it that you need? And lead with a balance of accountability and care. And so that's what my work and my book is all about. And thank you for being here.
Now, don't you agree right now that those two are it, right? Now we got a third